And welcome, everyone. I would like to go ahead and call to order the regular monthly meeting of the Cape Girardeau Board of Education. It is Monday, January 27th, and the time is 6:06 p.m. Let the record show that all board members are present except for Ms. Langston. And please rise as we pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Up first, we have the approval of the agenda. Board, we have the agenda before, so I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Cook, Dr. Fegley, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The agenda is approved. Well, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. We haven't seen you guys for a board meeting since then. And one of the new things we're doing this year under recognitions for Terrific Tigers, we're actually moving that to the end of the meeting. So I'm excited that you guys are all... Why is everybody laughing?
Hey.
You don't want to stay for the whole meeting? I do want to get reelected next year, so we'll drop that idea. We'll move forward. But welcome, everybody. We are so glad you are here. Up first, we do have recognitions, and that is Terrific Tigers. So each building in the district selects a student based on service to others, leadership, and scholarship. We're so glad to have you all here. Parents, don't be afraid to stand up as well. Come take your pictures and be recognized. Thank you.
All right, starting off, Alma Schroeder Elementary, Collins Puckett, kindergarten daughter of Christy and Billy Puckett. Collins is an intelligent, compassionate, and considerate student. She consistently sets a shining example for her peers through her leadership and kindness. She can often be found readily helping teachers and students in need of extra support. Collins demonstrates compassion and a dedication to making a positive difference in her school community.
Hand them to us and we'll start getting them off. Yeah.
Give me something. Blanchard Elementary, Camden K, kindergarten son of Jessica Harris. Camden is a perfect model of compassion, love, and kindness. Every single day he greets his peers and teachers with a contagious smile. He always gives his best in every task presented to him and with enormous energy and a thirst for learning. Clifford Elementary, Allison Leeser, fourth grade daughter of Beth and Justin Leeser. Allison is a responsible girl. She takes her time on her work and is always willing to answer questions in class. She uses GER behavior and is kind to others. She's a perfect example of a terrific tiger. Congratulations, Allison. Franklin Elementary, Elias Haar, kindergarten son of Sarah and Michael Haar. Eli is an awesome student with the ability to treat all with respect, kindness, and empathy. He works hard during center time to get his work done and typically goes above the expected mark. He also is very helpful to other students by encouraging and helping them. He is a good friend to all, is aware of how others are feeling, and is the one of the first to come to the aid of someone in need. He's an all-around thoughtful and good-natured kiddo. Jefferson Elementary, Malin Johnson, kindergarten daughter of Amy Gwynn and Marshall Johnson. Malin is the perfect example for Terrific Tigers. She's so kind and loving to all of the students in the building, going above and beyond to help out each classmate and make them feel welcome. She does a wonderful job following expectations in the classroom and working hard to achieve kindergarten goals. Congratulations, Malin. Central Middle School, Grace Pippins, sixth grade daughter of Lindsay Pippins. Grace toes the line regardless of what is happening around her. No matter what her environment is, Grace is going to find a way to learn and be successful at it. She's a good friend and helps encourage those around her. Every task you give her, she approaches with determination. Congratulations, Grace. You truly do deserve this award. Terry W. Kitchen Junior High, Mariah Handy, 7th grade daughter of Ashley and Donald Handy. Central High School, Hanid Ahmed, 12th grade son of Maria and Ahmed Sheikh. And Central Academy, Trey Doles, 11th grade son of Danielle and Timothy Doles. And then from December, Central Middle School, Kendrick Moore, 5th grade son of Kevin Moore. And then Terry W. Kitchen Junior High, Michael Porter, 7th grade son of Stephanie and Michael Porter. Michael is a great role model to other students at Terry Kitchen Junior High School. He consistently follows rules and expectations, even when other students do not. He's a stellar athlete and a great student who puts his best effort in everything he does. Congratulations, Michael.
You're always a back row person, right?
Let's have you four right here in front. One straight line. There you go. Great job. There you go. Right there. And then right here in front. There you go. Hold your certificates up.
Hold it down below your face though, buddy. There you go. That's perfect. Okay, can everybody look at me for a second, please? All right, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll move out of the way.
Everybody good? Let's give them a hand. You're
No
good.
problem.
Good job, guys.
You may still escape. We'll allow it this month. Congratulations, everybody. I don't know if you guys know this, but Jessica Harris and I, there's royalty in the room. Prom king and prom queen. 2010 grads.
That's why he wanted you to stay the whole time.
Don't tell them anything.
You too.
See ya. All right, up next we have information, proposals, and comments from the audience. Do we have anybody this month, Mr. Payne?
No appointments this month, sir.
All right, thank you. Do you like to always add at every board meeting just the process for that? Just some verbiage around that. Request to place an item on the agenda or to address the board should be submitted in writing at least 5 days in advance of the regular monthly board meeting. Please submit requests to the board secretary, which is Mr. Payne, at Central Administration Office. Constituents who request to address the board are allotted 3 minutes to speak. For more information regarding public participation in board meetings, please see board policies on the district's website. Up first, we have our informational reports, and that is first on the list is board president's report. I do not have anything, honestly, to bring to you this month, but I do want to wish everybody a Happy New Year again. Excited for 2025. And I'm sure there are plenty of people in this room, probably not the only time we mentioned tonight, that are looking forward to the Penguin Party. I know I am. So, see Ms. McDonald in the back. I'm sure we'll hear from her shortly. But that is February 8th, Saturday coming up, and we'll be excited to attend. And with that, I'll turn over to Dr. Binion for the superintendent's report.
Okay, well, we've actually, at the beginning of the this school year, in January, we've had quite some impressive events happen here in our district. Our robotics, our high school robotics team, they won first place in the Southeast League Championships. They'll be moving on to the state championship competition at the Missouri S&T. And so each year, last year, I don't even know if they placed. This year, they didn't place last year. This year, they placed first. It is extremely impressive on how much they have come since last year. So I went and watched them last year at SEMO, and they were still trying to figure out how to get the robot to pick up the ball and put it into the little hole that it was supposed to. I don't know if you were there. I know you came to a couple of them. This year, I guess, they figured all of that out when they're programming. I got to take these off. Programming, because they know how to code. They know how to do a lot of different things this year, and they've got a really great coach, so we're excited about that. Next is a big one on academics. Franklin won the Prime Award, and we're going to do some special things for Franklin as well. The Prime Center at St. Louis University is pleased to announce that Franklin Elementary, and you can see the attachment in there, has received an award for outstanding student growth during the 23-24 school year. Franklin was 16th statewide in mathematic growth for all students. Instead of comparing the Missouri Assessment Program, the MAP test, they used a scale score each year to track their growth. Academic experts at the Prime Center use statistical models to examine the relationship between last year's scores and this year's scores, with the belief that there are a fairer measure of how well schools are doing to promote student learning. I do know that our legislators are also looking at the MAP test this year, and is there better ways to measure our students' growth? And so I was happy to hear that. We had our legislative summit here. We hosted it here at the Career Tech Center on Friday, and one of the legislators was talking about how we actually measure our students' growth in a fair way. Because every community is different. Every community has different needs. And so they're really wanting to charge our Department of Education on figuring out a better way to measure students' growth. So I was really excited to hear about that. And this just shows you that we are growing and doing some great things at Franklin. So I was really impressed with that information that they shared with us. All-State Choir. We have 2 students performing at the All-State Choir this weekend at Tantera, well, which now is another name. But at Tantera, Sina Hahn and Amy Caldwell will be performing. We wish them luck as they show their tremendous talents on the big stage, so it's really impressive. So we've had some really great things happening this month.
That's great.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Up next, we have our CSIP, our Continuous School Improvement Plan / Program Evaluations. And up first, we're taking a look at our Technology Program Evaluation. And I believe Mr. Hall's with us tonight. Would you like to come on up? Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Absolutely. I won't bore you with rereading this. But just to keep everyone advised, we are proceeding as planned with according to the technology plan at CSIP, that all of our replacement schedules that we have put in place. And this year is one of our largest replacement schedules, because it's all the high school devices, it's all Central Academy student devices, and all of the elementary student devices. So this is one of the biggest years that you will see on here. So next year's cost of the program will be slightly larger than this one, unfortunately. But I have a really, really good team, and our staff takes the technology really, really well, and they did excellent in the cybersecurity evaluation. So very, very proud of all of them.
One other thing that Brian's working on is sorry, Mr. Hall. They're working on doing an RFP for our copiers as well. We had a meeting with them, so that's another thing that we probably will be bringing to you at some point to put out as a bid too.
Yeah, we hope to get that together within a month, ready for approval to go out, and then hopefully we'll have something in place for the start of the next school year. That's the plan.
We skipped a year because of COVID, so we have really aging copiers. 2 years, I'm sorry, 2 years. So we have some aging copiers that need to be replaced.
These will be all in one, so they'll be the copier, scanner, printer. We're looking to get rid of a lot of these smaller printers in the district that are expensive to maintain, and go with copiers that are much, much cheaper per clip.
Any questions? Well, thank you, Mr. Hall.
Thank you.
Up next, we're looking at Elevate 2, Safety and Security, and I'll turn over to Mr. Crow.
Thank you, Board. So before you, you've had an opportunity to look over the program evaluation, and much like Mr. Hall, I won't read it verbatim, but just a few highlights. We're conducting our annual site safety assessments. Our SROs, administrators, everybody's a part of that, all the way down to custodians that see something needs fixed, bring that in, looking at it. Starting next year, we'll be looking at contracting with a third-party agency to conduct non-biased site assessments over our facilities. But that's also playing into our long-range facility plan that we're doing as well too right now concurrently. So we're kind of getting two birds with one stone there. Continuously updating our emergency operation plans to make sure that those are compliant and most up-to-date methods and processes, and then annual staff participation in relevant trainings, and increasing building access security measures and our cybersecurity responses. So as we go through there, we continue to seek further grant funding for various things. We're always going to be looking at those initiatives and looking at those dollars to help our district stretch our resources even further. And then as of this evening, we have added a 6th SRO position to our already existing 5 SROs, so we're excited about that. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer any.
Thank you. Up next, we have our academic services report, and we are discussing AMI. Mr. Russell.
So, as you guys saw earlier this month, we had to make some changes, and that was due to last-minute guidance from DESE. And so, what they did was, with Senate Bill 727, they effectively created 2 different sets of rules for how we calculate time. And so you've got your normal, what we've been operating under, which is 1,044 days. It doesn't matter how many, hours, how many, doesn't necessarily mean matter how many days, to adding another layer, which is confounding, of 169 days. And they did this as a way to incentivize schools not to do a 4-day week. So it was one of those unintended consequences. Friday at the legislative session, they're all like, oh, yeah, that doesn't work. And so they kind of realized what happened as well. And so hopefully this session, they'll remedy that. But in the short term, what that means for schools is you have to use AMI days first, or you miss out on a huge pot of incentive money. And again, we got all of that information on
Middle of December.
December
before we got out.
17th, 18th. We got out on the 19th or 20th, I believe. And so the turnaround on that and what it really meant, too, because just because they put the guidance out doesn't mean that it's understandable. And so, so we had to make a few calls in and out. And so that first week back was not a great time to have a snowstorm for most schools across the district or across the state. And so a lot of schools right off the bat started using AMI, some did not. And so some schools are upset about it as well, because now they miss out on the money, not realizing what the guidance meant. And so,
And we have exactly 100.
We have it.
Yeah.
we have exactly 169 days in the calendar. They're looking at some changes in that already. 2 or 3 bills that are being floated, not necessarily filed yet. But that's kind of where we're at with AMI. I just wanted to give you guys a very simple primer on that. If you would love to read the guidance, we provided it for you as well. But it does show that even some conflicting language on years, but this year is the year that we have to start doing it in order to get the incentive for next year, because they have to build it into the budget to be approved.
1%. It's
Yeah.
1% this year, and then 2% after this third year, on the third year. So, and it's only earmarked for teacher salaries. That was part of the reason why.
It's about a $500,000 impact over the next 3 years.
Well, thank you all for tracking that down in order to make swift decisions.
Yeah, not everyone
Yeah.
was able to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't read it correctly. We had to call twice, I think, to get clarification, to make sure we knew exactly what it meant.
I saw lots of back and forth on the dates that you just mentioned, where people, is it now, is it next year? We don't really know, there's no clarification.
And it's about 2/3 of the way through the document, which,
Yeah.
if you're staying in that long, good on you.
Yeah,
You're pot committed at that.
yeah.
Any other questions? All right, up next we have our Community Teachers Association report. Mr. Lappy, welcome back.
Stuck at 0.
Try that. All right, some shout outs. We'll start with Alma Schroeder. So they want to give a huge shout out to Miss Ashley. She is invaluable and has the office working so smoothly. She always helps staff get the answers they need and anticipates the needs of the school before she's even asked. She is amazing. At Blanchard, students and staff are hardworking and dedicated. The students and staff put forth incredible dedication and produce amazing results. They know their purpose and give the best they have every day. The students and staff have great social skills. They are happy and spread joy and are eager to begin again in 2025. At the CAO here at Central Office, Miss Tina and Miss Rachel, they're always going above and beyond for everyone in the building. At Central Academy, they want to give a huge shout out to the custodian, Miss Stephanie. She maintains the entire Central Academy building plus Positive Pathways all by herself. She's a bundle of smiles and energy, and we love working with her. Another huge shout out goes to the maintenance department for getting their power and heat back on at the start of the 21st. This made the school day possible, so they appreciate that. At Clippard, huge shout out to all our classroom teachers and staff members that helped second semester expectations to the school when we came back from Christmas break. So that was Mrs. Lacey, Mrs. Erhan, Mrs. Mays, Mrs. Wellen, Dr. Roberts, Ms. Pletcher, and the classroom teachers. At CTC, shout out to Ron Kiplinger. He is the paramedics and EMS coordinator, and he has worked extremely hard to complete the EMS program reaccreditation process. And it looks like it's called COAEMSP. Mr. Kiplinger recently had a successful visit with no findings of non-compliance, and he has gone above and beyond to build a great paramedic program. Students and the industry partners alike have glowing reviews of his work and dedication. At the Early Childhood Center, shout out to the new administrative assistant, Brooke Humphrey, and the new TAs, Nikita Moore and Grayson Jones. They have all been off to a great start this semester, learning their new jobs and engaging with kids in a wonderful way. Also, shout out to Julia Jorgensen. She makes ECC run smoothly each day. She takes a shorter lunch break than other staff members so she can serve our students for breakfast and lunch. At Franklin, they would like to give us a shout out to the maintenance department as well. They work hard to make sure our building runs smoothly and are always available when an immediate issue arises. So they appreciate all they do for them and everyone else. They also would like to recognize the hard work and dedication of their psych examiner, Miss Michelle Beard. Her collaborative approach, thorough assessments, and support for our students make a world of difference every day. Miss Beard is a vital part of our team, and we are grateful for her. At the high school, the counselors have been working extremely hard helping students complete their schedules for next year. Also, shout out to Mrs. Snurbush and Miss Welker. They are working hard to raise money for the special prom. At Jefferson, shout out to Miss Bullinger and Miss Dotson for always working hard and going above and beyond to best help the first grade students with reading and finding strategies that best fits their needs. Their long hours and dedication are greatly appreciated. Also, Miss Diamond is a great asset to the fourth grade team. They appreciate her hard work with helping their struggling readers. She is also always quick to help out with coverage when needed. Shout out to Courtney Hanstein for collaborating with the reading interventionist to help write reading goals for students with RSPs. It is greatly appreciated. Another shout out here to Miss Liv in the pre-K. She's a TA and she's a bright light in our school. This person writes, she is always wearing a smile even if she is chasing a kiddo down the hall. She is always willing to lift a hand in any situation. She volunteers even if it is a less popular job. Her tone and demeanor are always pleasant, and this person said they're thankful to have her part of the team. This person also gave a shout out to Miss Kelly, who's another TA down in pre-K, and she's always on top of her game. She gets here early and starts preparing the classroom for the day. She can have a really tough day, because some days with our littles can be tough, and she still handles it beautifully with calmness. She is always working to the bone. There's never a minute wasted, and this person said they're very thankful to have her on the team. This one, it gives a shout out to all of pre-K TAs, because it takes a bunch of them to help with our little students. And it said, these TAs are phenomenal. They strive to build relationships with the students and to anticipate their needs. They are reliable and they love our students. Their jobs are very difficult, but they hang in there and they're very much appreciated. The last building on here is the middle school. They want to give a shout out to Miss Brandy for always going above and beyond and supporting all of the students. She never shies away from whatever task is thrown at her. Miss Crystal is consistently building strong relationships with all of the students and staff with our school, and she truly brings joy to everyone she encounters. And the last one here goes to Miss Tammy and Miss Vanessa. They are always so bright and cheerful. They keep our school running smoothly. They are supportive to all staff members in so many countless ways. We can't do it without them. So that is this month's. Does anyone have any questions for CTA or me? All right. Well, thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. All right, and up next, we have the Treasurer Finance Report, Ms. Dudek.
Okay, this report is for December. Beginning fund balance was 11.5 million. Revenues received for the month were a little over 16 million as we are getting in current tax money. So you'll see higher revenues reflected in both the general fund and the debt service fund. Expenses of 3.2 and our monthly transfer of 2.2 to the special revenue fund, leaving us with the ending fund balance of a little over $22 million. The banks where the cash and investments are held are listed. Does anyone have any questions? And I just kind of want to mention, put it on your radar for next meeting. We have met with Lorenzo from Steeple, and he has been looking at, we have our Series 2016 bonds that could be refinanced. So he will be here at the next meeting to present on that. And we would finance not to extend the length of the bond, but to get interest savings on the bond.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have our district-wide athletic report with Mr. Moyers.
Support services?
Well, we could skip it. I'm just kidding. We've already heard from it. No, I'm just kidding. I apologize, Mr. Moyers. Just 2 seconds. Learn about Crispitos here. Yes, I know. Yeah. Up next, we have our support services report. Mr. Crowell, thank you, everybody.
So update on long-range plans, January 16th, 17th, IDS was back in for face-to-face meetings district-wide. For those faculty or staff that could not get face-to-face time, an additional survey was sent out by myself this morning through IDS, or from IDS, but sent out through me for those teachers to bring up any questions or guidance or suggestions. We're trying to be as involving with our staff as we can be. So we've had multiple avenues, whether it be electronically or face-to-face, to have staff input, and we're going to continue to do so. Our next committee meetings coming up will be February 3rd for our internal committee that is represented by, again, staff, administrators from every building, as far as departments as well. And then also our external committee that has various members from our community that are involved, as well as there's a couple of you all who are represented on that. So we're moving along. We're excited about all the data and the picture that is beginning to form on several different silos of that long-range plan. And it'll, again, just a reminder, be up to you in June to adopt it and or change it or send it back to the beginning and start fresh, but hopefully in June we'll have a good product for you. Bus counts are going to be happening in February. That's third week of February, so we will just remind our parents that we'll be out there taking bus counts for all those students who ride our buses. With this still being the winter time, we ask, coats and hats and stockings and mittens. Just, dress appropriately while waiting for the bus, before you get on, before you get off. Yeah, food service is moving along nicely, and I've already given the update on safety and security. So that is all, unless you have any questions.
Thank you.
Now, Tyson.
All right, Mr. Moyers.
Good evening. So just a few updates here. High school winter sports are in the meat of their season right now. District and state tournaments are right around the corner. We do, Derek put in and we received, we're going to host the Class 5 District 1 girls basketball tournament. So that's good for the city and for our community. Junior high sports are still in a little bit of a dead time right now. They will fire back up soon with volleyball tryouts. While I'm on high school and junior high stuff, I did want to point out one thing, since I haven't seen you since November. Coach Frazier, our boys basketball coach, just something positive that he did this past year. His the junior high tryouts happened at the junior high. He went to all 3 days of junior high tryouts. Stayed after on the day of cuts. Talked to all of the kids that were cut about staying involved and coming back next year and trying out. And I just, as I was going through this board report, I thought, it's always good to hear some positive things, and that's just someone new to the district that's doing a great job. He's really taking the bull by the horns as far as our youth sports are involved and being involved in that. So I wanted you guys to know that. Elementary and middle school soccer signups ended on Friday. It looks like I might end up opening those back up. Our numbers are a little low on the boys' side, and I've had multiple emails saying, "Hey, I know I missed signups. Can you, So I'll probably open those back up to the remainder of this week. Basketball season's well underway. We actually have 40 of the 152 teams in the Cape Parks and Rec. So just a little over the 25%, about a quarter of the league is our Cape Tigers teams, and that league covers all of Southeast Missouri. We have teams that come from all over, so we're pretty proud of having that number of teams. Girls basketball, we have 5 teams in first and second, 4 teams third and fourth, 5 teams in fifth and sixth. Boys basketball, we have 8 teams first and second, 9 teams third and fourth, and 9 teams fifth and sixth. Our Cape Tigers youth nights, we usually have youth Tigers practice and a youth Tiger night. Boys basketball and wrestling did theirs in January, and our girls basketball would be in February. Just on a side note, for you who's following along at home, the Jefferson girls basketball team is currently 0-5. The point guard is very disgruntled with the head coach, and so just expect an email. If there's it's pretty, especially since there's been three 2-point losses, so that's obviously coaching. So the community CGPS night at SEMO basketball is this Thursday. So we have. We've got a lot of our kids performing the anthems. The middle school, Joe Moore's group for the middle school is going to do the girls' game, and George Dean is going to play the French horn for the men's game, which will be really cool. Our middle school dance program is actually going to do the halftime show for the girls or for the women's game that night. And then our players from our basketball teams are invited to come be the tunnel for the game. So they're all getting free tickets, including our staff. Our staff gets free tickets for that as well through our partnership with SEMO. Our annual soccer camp's coming up in February at the indoor, and softball camps are scheduled in early April. This is just a part of our CSIP plan to increase the number of camps provided by our high school staffs to the youth of our community. And then a youth sports banquet was this past Friday night. I was there for that, and Coach Palmer was the keynote speaker for that, and several awards were won by our Cape Tigers youth athletes, teams, and coaches. So it was a really, really great night. I did miss out on seeing our Tigers beat those people down the road, but it was a good place to be too, though. So, you guys got any questions for me?
Wait, who was that coach that?
Is the coach's spouse happy with his performance or not? A little shaky?
Well,
All these people online want to know.
Yes,
I
yeah.
think that
Yeah, the number of things the coach's spouse is unhappy about is long. So,
It's an
yeah.
ongoing feud.
Thank you. All right, up next we have our board reports, and first up is the MSBA delegate report. Dr. Fegley.
I do know something.
Awesome.
Gotta find Okay, the MSBA Board of Directors approved their 2025 legislative priorities at their meeting this past Friday. And the priorities, there's a fuller document that lists everything, but the priorities are broken down into 3 categories: investing in Missouri's public school students, equal accountability to Missouri's taxpayers, and safety of Missouri's students. So these priorities are based on the delegate assembly. We approved the advocacy positions at our conference. It was in October, right? Conference in October. So if you go on the MSB website, you don't have to log in or anything. You should be able to find like that fuller document with all of the different points under each of those main categories. So that's
Awesome.
all I have.
Thank you for sharing. Up next, we have our legislative report. Ms. Melindy?
Yes, I have lots to share. So the legislative session has begun. There's lots of new faces. We have a new governor. We have a new, for us personally, state senator. But it's not just us, just across the board. There's a lot of new faces. A couple of things that means is, one, expect a bit of a slow start because lots of people are just trying to figure out, get their bearings. It's a whole new position for them. But also, it's a great time, and I truly highly encourage this. It's a great time to reach out to your representatives and introduce yourself, explain who you are, offer yourself as a resource, somebody who's invested in public schools. It is great for our representatives to hear from their constituents when you're not just emailing them to complain, just to introduce yourself. And again, like I said, offer yourself as a resource. So this is a great time to do that. In a legislative session, there's a pre-filing period for senators, representatives to pre-file bills. Our deadline for that in Missouri is March 1st. As of now, JC, who is sitting right over here, has he's with the Southeast Missourian, has compiled an Excel spreadsheet of all of the bills that have been pre-filed that have to do with education. At this point, there's over 130. So there's quite a few that we're trying to track. One thing about pre-filing, just because something is pre-filed doesn't mean you're ever going to see it come to the floor. So that's part of the tracking, is just seeing what even comes to the point of being a vote. But just know there's several things that we're paying attention to and tracking and just seeing where they lead. There are 2 things in particular that I am especially interested in, and I think as a whole we are interested in. One is school choice. We are hearing that conversation not just locally, but just on a national level more and more. Several of the bills that have been pre-filed have to do with school choice. We've seen it even come up in the votes that we've had. So we just know that's something that is on the radar that we want to be paying attention to and making sure that funds are continually being reinvested in our public schools. It's something that also was mentioned by our new governor in his inaugural speech. So we know it's something he's thinking about too. So again, back to my very first point of reaching out to your legislation and offering yourself as a resource. This is a really big thing that we would love to influence in. So, having your name in front of them and somebody that they can talk to, and you can talk specifically about, why we think it's important to keep the funds within the public school system, that would be wonderful. The other thing, and we've talked about this prior, is SB 727. Which had several guidelines on pay, but what it didn't have is any kind of legislation that talked about how that pay, who it's coming from. At this point, it basically looks like it's coming from the schools. So several legislators, when SB 727 was passed, promised that they would put some kind of legislation forth that clarified that, basically clarified that the state would be funding those raises. So that is also something that I'm watching is, does that actually happen, basically? And that's all I have.
Awesome. Now we'll go through all 130 of those.
Yes.
One by one. And up next, we have the Cape Public School Foundation. I see Ms. McDonald making her way up. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Happy New Year to you all. First, I want to say, let's save the date for our golf tournament. It is Monday, May 13th at Cape Country Club. Penguin Party, that is coming up. It's Saturday, February 8th. We're working really hard on still selling some tables, getting sponsorships, and auction items. We have live music featuring Awkward Timing and Gen X. The Southerner will provide delicious food and drinks, and SEMO Selfie Station will be set up to capture fun party pics with your friends and fellow colleagues. We're going to have a live and silent auction, and it'll be just a great night to support Cape Public School District. So join us as we raise funds to support educational programs and resources benefiting students across the district. Some exciting things we set up. Joe Johnson has established the Dr. John Johnson Memorial Fund with an annual contribution of $25,000 to support student needs, athletics, and alumni initiatives. We are honored to help him preserve the memory of his brother, one of our distinguished alumni. We are pleased to announce the acceptance of a very generous donation of $107,000 for the purchase of aluminum bleachers at the Cape Central baseball and softball facility, as well as to support additional needs within the CTC welding program. We are also proud to announce that Cape Public School Foundation is the sponsor of Cape Chamber of Commerce First Friday Coffee, alongside with the Career and Technology Center on Friday, February 7th. Just so you know, we are a proud member of the Cape Girardeau Chamber of Commerce, Southeast Council of Philanthropy, Cape Area Community Foundation of the Ozarks, and the National School Foundation Association. We remain committed to strengthening our community and enhancing educational opportunities for all students. Just this month, we have invested over $10,000 to provide educational materials, essential resources to 736 students and 146 staff members across Clifford, Franklin, Jefferson, Cape Middle School, and Terry W. Kitchen Junior High. I did not put anything on here about my exciting news that JC reported in the newspaper because I jumped the gun and I wasn't supposed to announce it yet. But I'm so excited, and you guys will hear more about it. No, it's my fault. Totally my fault. But anyway, you'll hear more about it, and I'm super excited about that. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, up next, we have our approval of the consent agenda sent out to you previously to review. We have two items on that list for this meeting, and that is minutes from December 16th, 2024 board meeting, and payment of bills. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Cook, Dr. Fagley is close. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Up next, we have the business portion of our meeting tonight, and the item up for discussion is regarding the approval of a 24-25 amended salary schedule. The recommendation here is to adopt the salary schedules as presented. The amended schedules are effective January 1st, 2025. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Cook, Ms. Flingy, discussion. If there is any. No, I'm just kidding.
So the salary schedules that are presented here are classified salary schedules, and what we are doing is amending the steps that fall below the Missouri minimum wage of $13.75. That went into effect on January 1st, and so these amended schedules would raise the steps and allow us to amend the contracts for the employees that are currently on those steps. So we have 32 employees that this would affect, and then it also will affect our club staff.
Do they get back pay? How does that work
So
when we're
this is then
January?
retroactive back to
Yeah.
January 1st. So we will basically recalculate their
Yeah.
contract.
Okay.
How we pay them.
Any questions? All right. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And lastly, information and proposals from board members. Do we have anything this evening? If not, I will hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Cook?
Second?
Dr. Fegley, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you. And reconvening back upstairs.